Welcome to the world of the properties of real numbers. You may pause as long as you want after each slide. Make sure that you have your notes handy. Properties of numbers are the characteristics or rules that apply when we use basic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. We are going to talk about 8 in this lesson. First up are the commutative properties. Think about commuting to school and back. No matter the order, the total distance traveled is the same. This applies to both addition and multiplication. The order does not affect the result. This is shown in the examples provided. Next up, the associative properties. Associating has to do with grouping. At first, Mouse and Potato Head are grouped, leaving Pinky for later. We can also group Potato Head and Pinky with Mouse left out. Grouping symbols include both parentheses and brackets. As long as you are only doing one operation, the grouping symbols can move to associate different numbers together. This may make it easier to simplify an expression. And what about the identity properties? Well, your identity makes you you. So think about how to keep the original number. For addition, just add 0. If you're multiplying, just use 1. Don't mix them up or you won't have identities anymore. Inverse. What does that word remind you of? Reverse? Opposite? Flipped upside down? Well, think of the inverse properties as canceling out what you have. For addition, just add the opposite, also called the additive inverse. Your result is 0. And for multiplication, use the reciprocal or multiplicative inverse. The result is 1. Can it be any easier? The next property is the symmetric property. Remember, symmetry means that if you draw a line down something, it is the same on both sides. In other words, 5 equals 5, or I can use 6 or 2 times 3 because they are the same thing. The distributive property has us both multiplying and adding or subtracting at the same time. Distribute means to give out evenly. So distribute what you are multiplying to everything being added. To check the example, look at the left side of the equation. When we simplify this, first add 4 and 2, 6, then multiply by 5. The result is 30. If we simplify the right side, multiply 5 times 4, 20, and 5 times 2, 10, then add. The result is the same, 30. How cool is that? The last two properties we don't even think about. When multiplying anything by 0, the result is 0. And when we multiply anything by -1, we have the opposite of what we started with. Congratulations! You are now ready to identify properties and justify steps in simplifying expressions.